My name is Funyi Williams, and I'm excited to share my knowledge with you today. I call me Glowing Realtor, and some people hail me as Glow Baby. So it's really nice to have you here. Real Estate Investment Masterclass is what we're going to be talking about today. So I've been in the real estate industry for over 3 years, and it's been really beautiful. And information I'll be sharing right here, information that if I had known about this information 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I would definitely be doing better by now. Yeah. So information is power, like they say. I'm one person that I value information so much because I have seen how just tiny information can really take one from point zero to point 100. So I don't joke with information, and I'm super excited to have you here. My network is on point, right? Oh, okay. So my personal story, I'm going to be sharing you a bit about my personal story. The truth is that if someone had told me a few years ago that I will be doing real estate, maybe I would have said it's a lie, because I can never forget I told a friend that I'm not interested in real estate. The reason is because there were a lot of bad stories around me. My dad, for instance, his landed property he bought was taken away from him. My mommy's boss, where she built a house, she had even built a house, and yet it was taken away from her. And the few other persons that were even staying in their houses, they were not making money from it because, you know, now I know that they bought in bad locations. That's why they were not making money from it. Because in as much as we say real estate is beautiful, real estate is beautiful, it is important to buy in the right place. Location is key. So now I know that part. So I did not have any good example all around me. So I felt like, no, I beg. Why should I make money, suffer so much, buy a landed property, and it's taken away from me? I beg, I'm not interested in it. You know, a few years ago, I met my boss, and that is what has really helped me because I now got to see real estate in a different light. And I start to see even the beautiful examples around me. The truth is that I feel like generally it is the negative things that we see more, right? I also had a beautiful example around me, but I did not even know. Anyways, I did not have a knowledge. The beautiful example around me was my auntie. My auntie bought a landed property for 200,000 naira. And today, the minimum she's going to sell that landed property is 15 million naira. And guess what? I knew when she bought that landed property. So if I had the kind of information I have now, in fact, we would have bought that land with her. Do you understand that? Something she got for 200,000, the minimum she can sell it now is 15 million naira. So real estate investment is a beautiful one, but the negative stories that surround it makes it feel like, no, I don't think this is something I want to invest in. But we're going to be considering all of that today. Thank you. The next is the problem statements. A lot of Nigerians, the challenge we face is many Nigerians do not like to do the right thing. We live in a country where a lot of people are used to bribing, and in real estate, it doesn't work that way. If you are able to do the right thing, you would win in real estate. A lot of people like to do the wrong thing. Let me give you a little example. The thing I want to say, some of you might not be familiar with it, but many people are familiar with it. I don't know if you remember when we were growing up, right? Or in areas where NEPA used to come and cut lights. Are you familiar with that? So you would see people are owing, you see a house that they do not ever pay their NEPA bill, and one day they will keep on, but when NEPA come to cut lights, they will bribe the NEPA, so they'll fix it back. So they don't pay NEPA bill in that house. I'm sure you must have heard stories about that kind of house. My house used to pay NEPA bill those days, sha. But there were houses like that, they don't pay NEPA bill. When NEPA come to cut their lights, they'll bribe NEPA. When they come, they'll bribe NEPA. When they come again, they'll bribe NEPA, right? And one day, one officer would come and say, "What?" And they'll come and then they'll remove their wire. And when they remove their wire, they will now pay a lot of money for NEPA to fix it back. I think you're familiar with those kind of things, right? That's what Nigerians are used to generally. Used to bribing. You hear a case where this landed property, we've gone to check it in Alausa, the government is the owner, or the government don't want to build because this is right of way, or this is for canal, or blah blah blah. What will you hear? But don't worry, I have somebody that we can go and settle. That's the problem. Do you understand? So they always have people they can settle. No, 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 no. Don't worry, it's not a problem. I have somebody we can settle. Who are you settling? The person you want to settle, will he stay forever? The person is not going to live forever, then you don't settle anything. You know why? Because a new government can come in, and when the new government come in, they want to do the right thing. A few days ago, I was talking to someone, and she said she stays in Ikota, you know, and honestly speaking, I didn't know this part about Ikota. And she said that our area, once it starts raining like this, the whole place is terrible, blah blah blah. That I'm not even able to go to church. And I'm like, Ikota. To be honest, just last week I did not even know Ikota is facing that. I said, because of the way people build. Although I've heard something like that before, that the government are trying to do the proper thing in Ekpe, Ipechileki, on like what they could not do in the Ikota and all of that access. But I didn't know it's that bad. So she said, because of the way people build anyhow, people are building on the canal, so water is not able to move, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I feel you. I get that. Around where I stay, I see people who do the same thing. In fact, there's a particular place around where I stay that place is supposed to be for a canal. But guess what? People have stand filled it, and I heard that an estate want to set up it. So now, people do not like to do the right thing. Why are you buying a land that is meant for canal, meant for road, meant for right of way? Why? So the thing is, the government might not say anything. They will not even say anything. Let me not use word now. But when it is time, they will come and take the landed property. They will demolish those houses and take it. So would we say they are wrong? Yes, it's painful. But why are we not also doing the right thing? I've seen a practical case where someone was supposed to buy another property, and he was told, oh, this is for road construction. This is this. And he said, oh, okay. But guess what? They told him, you should not worry. They know who he can talk to, and they were able to settle them. And he said, no, it's not going to go ahead. A few months later, he saw people buying land and they were building their houses. So he said he even felt stupid, but I told him, no, don't feel stupid. It's the right thing to do. What's the point of building a gigantic house and maybe you're able to stay there 10 years, and after 10 years, the government remember that, hey, we have one land, and they come and clear it? Does it make any sense? But if you do the right thing, you would enjoy your real estate investment. That's just a fact. Let me give you a beautiful example. We all know about the Lagos Coastal Road, right? And I'm sure a lot of people think that, oh, this coastal road is making them take any land they want to take, but it's not true. They will not take your landed property if it is backed up with a good title. Now, this coastal road was supposed to pass. Our estate is supposed to be affected. Our estate that we have in Ibejileki. But guess what? Because it's a sea of old property, it is now just going to face in front. It's going to pass in front of our estate. Our estate is sea of old. See, let me tell you, the government said they don't want to spend money. You know, the truth is that real estate documentation is a proper class, but I'm not going to dive in so much on that. I'm just going to touch the surface. But the thing is, the government too do not want to spend money. Now, there's a law that covers the government that every land, dead property, belongs to the government. There's a reason why that law, Land Use Act, started. And there's another law that states that they can take any land so far it is for the public use. So let's assume that, okay, for instance, that coastal road, there's no need of using any example. The coastal road is for the public use, so they can take any landed property, but you'll be compensated in full. So for that, our property in Ibejileki, the government do not want to spend more because they know that it is a very big expanse of land back to Sea of O. So if they take it, they must compensate in full. So they themselves are not even interested in compensating. They don't even want to give you money. So you know what? The coastal road just passed in front of our estate. So that's the thing. Once you do the right thing, you buy properties with good title, you do not have anything to worry about. Yes, you do not have anything to worry about. In this class, we're going to be talking about ways you can look into real estate investment. Yes, we're going to be talking about ways you can look into real estate investment, how you can start small, how you can start small, which is land banking, and the various aspects you can explore in real estate investment masterclass. So now, what is land banking? Like the name implies, land banking. You go to save money in the bank, right? You can actually also use landed properties to save your money. But the only interesting part about land banking is, unlike bank, that when you save your money, it does not appreciate. It's only in fact depreciate. They do not add any interest for you or whatever, except maybe it is fixed deposit or so, but it's very, very minimum, interest. With landed property, a 1.5 million naira can become 100 million naira. Let me give you a quick exercise. I want you to imagine yourself 10 years ago. Just try to imagine yourself 10 years ago. Have you started? If you check, you would notice that 10 years ago, many of you there could afford a property of 1.5 million naira. Am I correct? If you really try to think, I want you to try and think about it. Many of you could afford properties of 1.5 million naira. Please type. I want to be sure that I'm communicating. Tell me, 10 years ago, if you had the information I'm about to share now, I'm about to share something, but talk to me in the comment section. 10 years ago, if you knew so much about real estate investment, how real estate can turn 1.5 million naira to 100 million naira, 10 years ago, would you have been able to afford a property of 1.5 million naira? Please let me know in the comment section. I'm going through it. 10 years ago, would you have been able to, buy a property of 1.5 million naira? Type yes, yes, you know. And if it's no, you can tell me to no. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Raphael, for your sincerity. 10 years ago, the question is okay, let me write the question. 10 years ago, if you have the information about how hot real estate is, would you have been able to buy a property of 1.5 million naira? You have written a question. I would like to see another response. Yes. Okay. Someone said yes. Yes. Thank you. So the last time I also asked myself this question, 10 years ago, if I had the information I have now, I may not have been able to afford it fully, but I would have been able to work with my mom to afford it. Yes. 10 years ago. So now why am I telling you to do this analysis? There's a particular landed property around where I stay. They sell a plot of land there for 100 million naira. And 10 years ago, it was selling for 1.5 million naira. In fact, I have a friend that stays in United Estates in Shangotedo. All the while, I know she had been staying there, but I did not even know that they stay in the house. And when she told him the price she bought the land and the year they bought it, and I'm like, I really wish we knew about this information. So the truth is, when we think about it, we realize that if we have this information we have now, 10 years ago, many of us would have been able to afford a property of 1.5 million naira. Even if you're not able to afford it in whole, this is an estate. So meaning that they would have definitely been what we have called installmental payment plan. So they would have allowed people to spread payment. So if you really think, you realize that you would have had 200K that you can deposit and spread your payments to also buy it. But just imagine that. Imagine she said she would have been able to buy up to 3 plots. So if she's able to buy up to 3 plots, today she would have had landed property that she would sell and make up to 300 million naira. Even in this our time, if she has 300 million naira, she'll be able to buy an apartment conveniently in Lekki Phase 1. And if she has 300 million naira, she'll be able to buy like 6 houses in a quarter, four bedroom duplexes. So at that time, so what am I trying to say? Starting now is important, you know. So with whatever finances you have, whatever money you have, send me a DM and let's look for real estate that you can buy, such that as you continue to work, that land banking you've done is also growing. Do you understand that? Yes. So that land banking you've done is also growing. And in 10 years' time, in 5 years' time, you could sell it and buy whatever house or land you want to buy in the present location that you would love to buy. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So this is the point. This property I'm talking about is around Shongotode axis. So let's assume that I I was staying in the mainland, right? And I do not even cannot buy a landed property there. But by going further, I'm able to buy a property. And guess what? While I'm hustling, it keeps on growing. And now I can sell it and buy in wherever location, whatever location I love to live in. Because the mistake is, I'm going to still go into that. Yes, it's one of our slides. But the mistake people make is a lot of people are very emotional. Oh, that place is far. Oh, well, I don't want to stay there. You do not have to stay there. For instance, the whole Ibejuleki Ekwe axis. Many people in the mainland are like, that place is far. Oh. What am I doing in Ekwe? You don't have to stay there. There are people who need to stay there. For instance, we're going to have the airport in Ekwe. So those that are going to be working in the airport, do you think is in Ikeja they would like to stay? Can they come from Ikeja to Ekpe every day? Is it possible? No matter how the person loves Ikeja, he can never stay in Ikeja. The person must own or rent an apartment around Ekpe axis. Or do you think the person wants to stay in Shangotedo? The person will not even want to stay in Shangotedo. I, for instance, when I started working with this real estate company, P1 Regal, I had to move my house. I was staying on the mainland. We moved apartments. We moved all the way down here. And guess what? I used to think this area is far. That's just the truth. While growing up, when I come to visit my uncle in Shangotedo, I used to feel, this place is too far. But when I started working with this real estate company, I had to move. All of a sudden, this place is no longer far to me. In fact, it was so beautiful staying very close to my office because I just wake up in the morning, boom, before you know it, 15 minutes, I'm at the office, 15 minutes when I leave the office, I'm back home. So guess what? Mainland is no longer beautiful to me. I no longer want to stay there because it's not convenient. And that's the same thing that is going to happen in Ivedileki and Ekpeazis. The people who are going to work in these places, they can never stay in your house. That your house in mainland that you think is the closest place to stay in or the most central place to stay in, they cannot stay there. Look at the Ibejuleki, for instance. The Lekki Free Trade Zone. A lot of people talk about the Dangote refinery, but that's not the only juice about that Lekki Free Trade Zone. The Lekki Free Trade Zone itself houses over 150 companies. Dangote refinery is just one among the 150. The Lekki Deep Sea Port is just one among the 150. That's two companies among the 150 companies. So these people who are going to work in this place, do you think they want to stay in Bagada? Would they want to stay there? Or do you think they want to stay in Yaba? Or would they want to stay in Pango? Or even stay in Shangotedo? No, they cannot stay in Shangotedo. Shangotedo is even too far for them. They will prefer to stay in Ibejuleki exact axis. They will prefer to stay in Eleko. They will prefer to stay in that environment. And you know that already developers are already building houses in Esheroko, in Eleko. That's what's going to happen. In fact, the truth is that Recently, we moved apartments, myself and my husband, and the agent, was telling us that, Ekko don hot now, you know, we don't even see house for these people. Because of this refinery, the guy bring plenty people, they come every time. So we don't even no house to even rent. So there's already housing need in Eleko. And no reason why developers are already building houses in Eleko already. Yes. So there's already housing need in Eleko. And that's just what's going to happen. The need is going to continue such that the developers will start to buy people's land. So the truth is that we are already approaching the late stage in real estate investments. Yes, we're no longer in the early stage. The property I told you that the coastal road passed just in front of our estate. We used to sell that landed property for 8.5, but today it's selling for 25 million naira. We're almost approaching the. We're no longer in the beginning stage. We're now in the middle stage. So if I were you, you should start immediately. In fact, not immediately is not the word now. Because that landed property definitely will sell for 200 million naira in years to come. So before we get to that stage, it is important we start now. So that's what is happening already. So that's land banking. Land banking is buying a landed property to hold for a long time, to hold over a period of time, and then it keeps on growing. Sorry. Okay, so it keeps on growing. So, like I tried to explain, land banking is a beautiful way to make money. Yes. So, the point I'm trying to make from that 1.5 million naira land that's now moved to 100 million naira is that land banking can help you buy properties that you would have loved to buy now, but you cannot afford it. It can help you to afford. Do you understand? Yeah. So, that's land banking for you. This landed property I'm talking about is somewhere around Shangotedo. Okay, I mentioned it already. So land banking can help you to afford the kind of lifestyle you would love to afford. So just ensure you do it in the right location. I told you we're still going to get into that. That's going to be our slide 8, where I'm going to explain the investor mindset. So stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. Let's work together. So we're going to talk about some case studies. I'm going to be specific to only two states. Let's just talk about two states. The first one is in Warri. Yes. So this property in Warri, it's called Plantation City in Warri. Now, when I did my research, I realized that a plot of land in that estate used to sell. A plot of land in that estate used to sell for 5 to 10 million naira. But do you know how much a plot of land there is now selling? It's now selling for 150 million naira if you want to build a duplex. And it is a bungalow plot, it sells for 80 million naira. So something of 10 million naira has moved to 150 million naira. And it keeps on going. It keeps on going. So land banking is a very beautiful way, you know, to save money, to multiply your wealth. It's a beautiful way to build wealth. Little wonder they say that 90% of billionaires are also involved in real estate. Is it people like Otedola? Is it people like Dangote? Is it people like Mike Adenuga? These people use real estate investment to maintain their riches. Let me give you a brief example of Otedola, or a brief story about Otedola. Otedola was someone that got into debt. He was doing a particular business, the oil and gas business. He got into debt, and he was it was so terrible, right? It was his real estate properties that he had and was able to use to bounce back. So he sold 184 flats. He sold all of that to be able to bounce back. So real estate investment is a beautiful one. So like the worry I talked about, we have a landed property just 2 minutes away from this particular estate, you know, and we launched it at 15.5. And in just 2 months, it moved to 25 million naira. And it's going to move again. So 50 million naira. That's the it's gonna be moving anytime soon to 50 million naira. So how much do you think this landed property will sell in years to come? When just 2 minutes away from where our estate is, a plot there goes for 150 million naira. So the truth is, as we develop, you know, by the time we start major work there, because we're going to sell apartments in that estate, it will sell for so much money. So that's how you know a good location. So we're still going to talk about the investor mindset, but the point is, I want you to take home from this is location is key. Many people do not do real estate right. Like the examples I told you about that scared me about real estate investment. They were not doing real estate right. Many people are emotional. I think Nigerians generally, many Nigerians are very emotional. Oh, I come from Oyo State. I must only buy land in Oyo State. Oh, I'm from Ibadan. I cannot buy land any other place than Ibadan. Oh, I'm from Lagos. I cannot do anything outside Lagos. you know, so we have people like that. Oh, this is where I am from. That's where I want to buy my land. But that's not how to make money if you want to do real estate investment. It is important you buy in a great location because location is key in real estate. So like the experience I told you about the estates we have in Warri, we real estate company, we don't just buy land anywhere. Or my company, for instance, we are super strategic about where we buy our landed property. So that landed property, like I told you, when I was so happy for some of my clients or the clients who secured a plot of land in urban price smart city in Warri, because this is a place that is so prime. This is a place that's so prime. You know what it means for you to have an estate just 2 minutes away from the place that is selling for 150 million naira. So you can only imagine how much our property will sell in years to come. And little wonder it moved from 15.5 to 25 million naira in just 2 months, and it keeps on moving. So another case study I would like us to look at is Uyo. So we have a particular property in Uyo. This property is just 5 minutes away from Shelter Africa Estate. And plot of land in that estate goes for as high as 100 million naira. So when we launched that property for 8.5 million naira. You can only imagine how much it will sell in years to come. And this estate is facing a major road, a major railroad fault. So it moved to 10.5 and it keeps on moving. So these are case studies of landed properties that are doing so well in Nigeria. So like I said, it is important you invest right. It is important you do your research. If you're working with me, you do not have to worry. I only sell properties that have high, ROI in the future. That's the kind of properties I deal with. But if you're going to buy it from maybe Omonile or any other person, it is important you do your proper research on the location. The proper research I'm talking about is not even the documentation aspect. The location is key. So we're going to be talking slightly on the investor mindset. What mindset should you have? To succeed in real estate investment, you need to have the right mindset. What does this mean? It means that you have to separate your emotions from your investment decision and focus on return on investment rather than personal preferences. What does that mean? So instead of buying landed property just because you love the area, so let's assume you go to, I don't want to mention any state. I don't want to mention a state I have in mind. So let's assume you just go somewhere and you just tell yourself, oh, I love this area. I have to buy a plot here. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So the investor mindset, there is no emotion. I was talking to someone the other day and I said, oh, I'll recommend this property for you. And she said, oh no, when Lagos has not finished, what am I looking for? That's not the investor mindset. The investor mindset follows the money. I want you to take home that the investor mindset follows the money. It is important you follow the money when we are doing with real estate. Let me tell you something about Dangote. There's a place called Ecom. Ecom is the highest importer exporter of cocoa. So when you go there, you'll be surprised you see several Dangote trailers. Dangote may have never been to Ecom. He might never stay in Ecom, right? But guess what? Is he making money from Ecom? Yes, he is. So the investor mindset is not an emotional one. It is not a, oh, what am I doing in Ecom? Or what am I doing there? No, 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 no. What am I doing in this state? This is the area I like. No. You can be emotional about where you stay. Yes, that part you can be emotional about it. So you can say, I love Ibadan. I want to build my house in Ibadan. That's fine. But where you should invest and make good money, please do not be emotional about it. That's how you can succeed in real estate investment. You know, there's so many places that are doing so well, and some places are not doing well. Yes, there's some places that are not doing well at all because of their bad infrastructure or there are not businesses there. For instance, when I went to Enugu, yeah, Enugu is as if Enugu is packing everything. Is it businesses? There are several businesses in Enugu, several businesses, likes of Innobest, likes of Anamco, likes of Kalsi, one construction industry, likes of um the airport, the jewels, the pharmacy. There are several companies. Is it the schools? I think Enugu houses the highest school ever. I've not done that research, but I think Enugu houses the highest number of schools. In MNA alone, they have 3 universities there. When I was talking to someone, they said, Enugu, they like school very well, they like book. Do you understand? So this kind of places now, people who are going to work in these companies, do you think they will come and stay in Lagos? They cannot have anything to do in Lagos. No, they cannot have anything to do in Lagos. And that's why you see landed properties in Enugu is high. The appreciation there is fantastic and beautiful because of these factors, the schools and the several businesses there, the universities, because there are so many universities, more people are coming, right? And these students, they need where to stay. So that's why the housing rental will continue to appreciate. So it is important that in real estate, you have the investor mindset. And the investor mindset is what? Follow the money. If that's the only thing you take from today's trend, that's going to be beautiful. It is important you follow the money. Yes, it's important to follow the money. So there is no emotions or sentiments. Oh, I don't like this area. This is the area I like. This is where I want to buy my land. But instead, you're following the money. I'm going to be touching briefly on documentation and research. There's a whole lot that goes in buying beautiful real estate investments. Yes. You know, when I started initially, I talked about houses that are demolished, bad experiences that make people run away from real estate investment. But let me tell you a brief story. In 2022, me and my husband, he was my fiance then, we had this accident. And this accident was so serious that he had to sell his SUV scrap. Do you understand? It was that serious. We had to sell the car as scrap. We sold it for 400,000. Imagine selling an Acura SUV for 400,000. That's how bad the accident was. But I thank God we were all safe. Yes, so don't be scared. We were all safe, but it was tough. Now, why did I say this? I started having PTSD. Whenever I go into a car, the next thing I see is accidents. That was how bad it became. Once I enter a car, next thing I'm seeing accident. Because that day it was like a dream. We had already concluded a job. You know, we're going home happily that, oh, we've achieved a lot today. Only to only for that to happen. It felt like a dream. So immediately I enter any car, I start to see accidents. So it was having PTSD and we did not even want to buy a car at that point. So we're using Uber. One particular day, he had a job and he had to transport his team using Uber. Me and him used Uber. In fact, that day, we spent 50,000 naira on Uber. And so he looked at me and said, babe, I need to get another car. You can't continue this way. And I said, let's roll. So we had to. We bought a small car. But guess what? Imagine if I had said that, oh, because of this accident, I don't want to get into a car again. Ah, this car that almost killed me. No, 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 I'm not entering car. Imagine if I had maybe said something like that. Ah, track yourself for not keep person. I like it is not possible. We cannot do without a car. Another beautiful example is um air transport. A lot of people we hear stories of hey, this plane crashed, it killed many people, those kind of stuff. But guess what? We will still continue to use air. The only thing is we now need to do our due diligence. So we had to buy another car, but this time around we became very serious. For the car aspect, what we did was if you see my husband's light in his car now, oh my god. When we when we are driving, maybe we're about to enter our house, we have to put on the light because if there is anybody in front, it will be as if you want to blind the person. But people complain a lot. Ghana, dim your light, this light too much. So we put kind of lights that because what happened in our former accident was we we the way these things can be. So that particular bump, normally there's supposed to be like a sign so that people would know that there's a bump here. So we hit it with force and there was trailer in front of us and all of that. Just a very messy one. So because of that incident, my husband now invested so much in car lights. Like he's so in fact he does more than the normal lights right now, so that he can be seen very well. So what am I trying to say? We learned from our mistakes and looked at how we can work. But I did not say because of that accident I will never get into a car. If I do that, I'm sure you yourself will tell me that you are stupid, right? It's the same thing with real estate investments. There are a whole lot of bad stories around real estate investment. See, this house was demolished. Oh, this. But the truth is that when you do your proper due diligence, you have nothing to worry about. When you work with me, you have nothing to worry about because we only secure landed property with good title. But in case maybe you want to work with an money, maybe you have one land that you're eyeing, there are three different things you must do. First, you go to Alausa. Second, you go to the courts. Yes, I'm sure you're hearing that for the first time. You also go to the courts because some lands may be good in Alausa, but that land may have been used to borrow money in the courts. And if you go and buy that kind of land, you have to enter what they call basic. So you go to the court and then you now do family search. You understand? Going from family to family, using the boys to get all those information. That's the thing that the real estate investment shields you from. You do not have to do all of that. We've done all of that for you already. So if you are going to be, maybe you have a landed property you're eyeing one on money like, please, these are things you must do. So that you don't buy a landed property that is, for instance, in a fair right now. Yes, Ekpe is planned already, but the government will not tell you anything if you are buying a wrong land. There's a particular section that is for the military zone. If you go and buy a land there, when they are ready to build that military zone, they will not refund you. You won't be compensated. The only time you are compensated is when you buy a landed property that is free, it's backed by C of O, that one will be compensated in full. But if you go and buy a land that is from the government, they will not compensate you shishi. That's just the truth. You will not be compensated. So it is important to do your due diligence. It is only that way, it is only if you do that you will enjoy your real estate investments. So we are not going to go proper in documentation because that's like a whole topic on its own. But in summary, it is important you do your due diligence. But when you're working with Glowing Realtor, you can be rest assured that I've done that for you. So, and that's the beautiful aspect of buying landed property from a reputable real estate company. They have they have an image to protect. So we go through all that stress to do our due diligence. Sometimes it takes us up to 6 months to confirm before we can buy a landed property. In fact, if you know the tricks that we pull just to be able to make sure we're buying the right one. Let me give you a quick story. There was this particular landed property that the company almost paid for. But because of our way of doing things, we told the people who were supposed to pay that, oh, we're going to do this so before we pay you. And they said, okay. And they were like, I said, hope you get the land. Because we have to do this before we pay you. They said, okay. So we went, we did our normal practice. And while we were doing it, so actually what we wanted to do, we wanted to clear the place. So and while we were clearing, many people were coming. People were coming. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? That's when we knew that the landed property had issues. So there are a whole lot of strategies that we pull before landed properties can be brought to sale, especially if you're working with a reputable brand. There are a whole lot of strategies we pull that you will not know. So you just see there are a whole lot of strategies. I don't even want to go deep in that. There are a whole lot of strategies that are pulled to be able to buy a landed property and sell. In buying landed property, the person you are buying from is not your friend. You should not smile too much with him, because in fact, if you're smiling too much with you, it means that there's a problem. So, there are a whole lot of strategies we pull to make sure we buy the right land. Let me give you a brief story. There was a particular landed property we loved in Mowe and we wanted to buy, and it's a C of O property. So the fact that a landed property is C of O does not mean that it is secure. I need you to understand that. So this landed property, yes. So the fact that a landed property is C of O does not mean that it is a good property. So it is C of O does not cover it all. That's why I told you about the proper documentation that we have to pull, the proper due diligence we have to pull. So this particular landed property, it was when we were, we had already done our stage one. So there are stages we go through. We had already done our stage one. We realized that, okay, we are good. This is the family. We are good to go. And then we did the stage two. It was when we did the stage two, we realized that the gbese on that land, over 300 million naira. I want to say that kind of land. I want to pay that money. Anybody who goes to buy that land is gbese. The person has entered. And you pay it. There is nothing you can do. The way people do things now. Once they don't collect money, they don't collect money, they don't answer. The person will not pity you and say, oh, sorry, it's 300 million gbese that is because he has not been paying his land use and all of that. So 300 million was on that land. So imagine if we had bought that kind of land. And guess what? Someone who does not know how we go about this thing would have bought that landed property. But the person has entered gbese that they cannot come out from it. 300 million naira. Is it beans? So that's real estate for you. So it is important to enjoy it. It's important you do your proper due diligence. If you do that, you would enjoy your real estate investment. Thank you for being here. So it's a conclusion. Thank you so much for joining me in this journey, you know, talking about how you can unlock profitable real estate investment opportunities in Nigeria. Remember, successful real estate investment requires the right mindset, proper research and documentation, and willingness to take calculated risk. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to be having these sessions from time to time. So I really do appreciate, and I would love to take questions now. Okay. I love to take questions now. Okay. Okay. Someone just asked, how do I make sure what are the other stages of doing my due diligence? Like I said, that's a major topic, but in summary, when you want to buy a landed property, maybe from an omonile, you go with your surveyor to go and get your coordinates. Once you get that coordinates, you take that coordinate to Alamsa to go and search. After doing that search, you have to find a way to look for families to know the real story behind that land. Because sometimes you can buy a landed property from a family, and another family will come and say, that land is not for them, it's our father, mother. It happens like that. So in fact, in the past, we've had experiences where we pay for a land twice. You paid for this land with this family. Another family comes and say it is their own, so we have to pay again. So apart from doing your due diligence in Alausa to be sure that it is free from government acquisition and all of that, you have to be sure that you're paying to the right family. Do you understand? Yes. So that's another thing you have to do. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for having me. And I am Glowing Realtor. Please feel free to call, send me a message so we can talk more on profitable real estate investment you can embark on.